yourself, damn, what is going on here?
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years.
It's actually to drive revenue so we can give the players extra income opportunities. I had to actually educate the players. They're like, good, 75 million divided by 144 payouts.
In particular, what steps will the WNBA take to guarantee that those seats are occupied? Is the query that all people have. And TV ratings don't totally collapse in 2025. But if they want to stay on the success train, there is actually only one way to do it. Continue Caitlin Clark's winning ways on the court. Because, let's face it,
with her WNBA rookie season complete, let's see it. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA.
The Indiana Fever's Clark is reportedly preparing for all of these behind-the-scenes, confidential discussions in order to completely dominate and win the 2025 finals. And who is planning this? Naturally, the WNBA stands to benefit the most from this entire situation. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't that completely crazy? But hold off until you see the data that will back this up. Billions are on the line here.
NBA negotiated the WNBA's media deal alongside its own massive media rights agreement with Disney, NBC, and Amazon, and each of those companies will have their own WNBA packages. However, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver confirmed on Tuesday that the media deals were not finalized just yet.
You got to build, you have to scale, and ultimately expansion had always been on my list. But we didn't want to rush into it because we wanted new owners, like new ownership groups. Anyone who knows sports here knows, like, it's a slog to be a sports owner.
Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the W.
Caitlin Clark did more than just garner media attention when she first came to prominence. She completely upended the WNBA industry.
Clark trying to get around Mabry. Clark to the rim, reverses it home through the contact.
Renowned for her incredible shooting range, her fearless personality, and her seasoned senior swagger, Clark provided the WNBA with much-needed support. An incredible athlete capable of gaining literally hundreds of thousands of new fans.
With physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said.
What I am upset about, it's like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays.
She became famous overnight thanks to her amazing playmaking and those ridiculously long three-point shots that she was simply stealing from the logo.
Encouraged Alyssa Thomas for making some of her great passes.
No one picks up Clark, who cans the three.
Now, she was being praised by longtime WNBA fans. Even people who had never seen a single game before were captivated and glued to their screens.
But Cowan, who couldn't finish behind the back again, for Clark, give her another assist and a chance for a three-point play for Smith.
But here's the issue. Clark's influence went well beyond her outrageous on-court antics. What truly altered the game was her overall influence on the WNBA.
Move, we are tied right now. Clark to Samuelson, and there is, believe it or not, folks, the biggest.
She joined the league at what could be regarded as the perfect moment of transition. The WNBA has never been able to draw the same level of public attention as men's sports, even though it boasts some of the world's best players. The league was growing, yes, but slowly. The WNBA had that superstar all of a sudden when Clark arrived, the one who could draw in both casual sports fans and diehard supporters. Given her level of influence, everyone is curious as to whether the league will make every effort to help her succeed. Maybe they're even preparing her for a finals win? Caitlin Clark had a profoundly transformative effect from the moment she was chosen by the Indiana Fever. Think about it. With an average attendance of just 4,200 per game in 2023, the Fever had one of the lowest attendance rates in the league. However, those numbers blew out when Clark appeared in court in 2024. With an average attendance of 17,000 per game, The Fever's home games saw a massive fourfold increase in attendance, moving them from last place in the league to first place. Furthermore, tickets for those high-profile games were selling out quickly, especially those against elite teams or other outstanding athletes like Breanna Stewart or A'ja Wilson.
A'ja Wilson keeps the possession alive for Vegas. Wilson gets denied by Stewart.
Shot here in these finals. What about this one? Just a beautiful contest, all ball from the 7-1 wingspan.
The problem is that Caitlin's involvement in the league had an impact beyond simply raising Fever Games attendance. In 2024, the WNBA saw a startling 93% increase in overall ticket sales. Some clubs were even forced to move their games to bigger arenas in order to keep up with the excitement. But attendance was only the beginning. The real story, the truth,
Was told in the TV rating.
Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
The WNBA as a whole experienced an incredible spike in national attention during Caitlin Clark's rookie season.
National championships, 4 Big Ten championships. Yeah, there's my teammates. They're pretty awesome. And I think just a belief in myself, and my parents always instilled confidence in me from a young age when I was a young girl. And I think that's something a lot of young girls can learn to have. And I think people supporting them certainly helps. So, yeah, I think the biggest thing is the confidence. But I told my mom before this is like, you know, I earned it, and that's why I'm so proud of it.
In addition, over 2.2 million people watched her first WNBA game, making it the most watched in an amazing 23 years. The number of people watching WNBA games on ESPN increased by 170% over the previous season, despite a 133% increase in viewership on other networks in 2024, according to Nielsen data. These kinds of astronomical proportions led to the negotiation of a massive new TV contract just this season. Clark's involvement in the league helped the WNBA earn an extra $2.2 billion in media revenue. The strange part follows, and that was only the start.
The thing that she said that really stuck out to me was about Christy Size actually having major control over this Fever locker room.
Caitlin Clark for the 2 games that she was in the postseason. Outkick has the story available right now. You can go to outkick.com. Caitlin Clark's final WNBA playoff game. 2.5 million viewers.
Appreciate you.
They're ready to ride. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl Swoop.
The Caitlin Clark effect only grew stronger as the Fever swept into the playoffs. On average, 2.5 million people watched every Fever playoff game. But then something happened.
Not tell people, hey, if you're just in this for Caitlin Clark, then get out. No, that is not the way you market your league.
So
it's not the way you grow.
Almost immediately after Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were eliminated early from the playoffs, the entire WNBA was taken aback. When Clark wasn't playing, attendance at the very next round of the playoffs dropped.
Not following after Caitlin Clark's been eliminated, and they're not into the league because they're conditioned by the league and the WNBA PA.
Suddenly, games that were promoted as these high-profile encounters between elite teams were happening in front of a surprisingly small audience. It wasn't just the steep decline in attendance that occurred. TV viewership plummeted during the playoffs from an incredible 2.52 million viewers during Clark's games. That figure fell to just 929,000 in the games that followed. It's a drop of more than that.
Caitlin Clark, it was massive numbers. When it wasn't, it was even less on average than the previous playoff series.
This dip wasn't your typical one. The drop was huge, and many were taken aback by this dramatic decline in participation. When the league's top player was suddenly cut, how did it maintain its momentum? Clark's significance to the WNBA became increasingly apparent as the number of games increased. It was becoming more and more obvious that Caitlin Clark had somehow surpassed the game itself. Even though the league is full of exceptionally talented players like Sabrina Ionescu, A'ja Wilson, and Breanna Stewart.
Now, one thing we've seen, and Holly Rowe talked to the players about this, last year they shot a lot of 4-pointers as Sabrina knocks that one down.
She was increasingly needed by the WNBA to keep fans interested, like a lifeline. Clark seemed to be at the center of every league promotion. She received more social media shares than any other player, and networks kept airing her highlights. She was everywhere, especially during the day.
I was once that little Iowa girl who was inspired to dream big, real big. And that dream was more than women's basketball. If I can sign with Gatorade, you can too.
Everything to be proud of. I'm super proud. There's so much more we need to do. We are Caitlin Clark. This is just the beginning.
Naturally, leagues now aim to promote their top players. Just look at the NBA, where he was preceded by LeBron James and Michael Jordan. But here's the worst part. What happens if a league depends too much on one player? That is the terrible question that the WNBA is currently facing head-on. Even though athletes like Breanna Stewart and Aya Wilson are amazing, they haven't drawn the same level of interest from casual sports fans as Caitlin Clark. The league also faced challenges as a result of her early elimination from the playoffs.
The offensive rebounding. We gave up one offensive rebound the whole second half. That was huge for us.
Following Clark's elimination, the WNBA suffered greatly from dwindling attendance and ratings. That's when a wild conspiracy theory started to form and spread.